creation in the digital age, huh? It's like everywhere you turn, someone's got a microphone, right?
Exactly. And it's not just about individuals anymore. Businesses are realizing the power of podcasts too.
So it's like taking anything, a picture, a website, even a YouTube video, and turning it into a podcast? That's wild.
Yeah, that's Podcastify in a nutshell. It's like this crazy alchemical process, right? Transforming raw multimodal content into pure audio gold.
It's using GenAI, right? Like the stuff everyone's talking about?
Exactly. And it's not just slapping some narration over a video. This thing builds full-fledged audio conversations, complete with different speakers, different languages, the works.
Hold on, different languages. So I could take like a German news article and turn it into a podcast and say Japanese?
Theoretically, yeah. I mean, it supports a ton of languages for both the transcript and the text-to-speech. It's pretty mind-blowing, actually. Think about the possibilities for global reach.
Okay, so how long can these podcasts be? Like just quick snippets or...
Well, that's the beauty of it. You can generate short, snappy podcasts, 2 to 5 minutes, or these epic long-form ones, like 30 minutes or even longer.
But what about the actual voices? Are they like robotic or...
No. They're using advanced TTS models, OpenAI, 11 Labs, Microsoft Edge, Google, all the big players. So the voices are super realistic, nuanced, even emotional. It's light years beyond that old school robotic stuff.
But how does all this actually work? Like under the hood?
Well, the whole system's built around a pretty sophisticated pipeline. Think of it as a series of steps, each one refining the process,
Yeah.
So you start with your input. Could be anything from a URL to straight up text. And the system analyzes it, extracts the core information.
Okay, so it's figuring out what the content's about.
Exactly. Then it structures that information, building a narrative, crafting a conversation, basically creating the blueprint for the podcast.
Got it. So like it's writing the script.
Precisely. And once the script's ready, it feeds that to the TTS engines, OpenAI or 11 Labs, whatever you choose.
And that's where the magic happens, right? The voices...
Yeah, the TTS engine generates the audio using all those nuanced, realistic voices. And then there's this crucial step, embedding the audio, making sure it's like securely stored and accessible.
Oh, tell me more about that embedding process.
Well, there's a dedicated function, embed audio, specifically for that. It takes the generated audio file, makes sure it's properly integrated into the system, so it's not just floating around somewhere, nice and organized.
Right, so it's like archiving it properly.
Something like that. Yeah, returns a success message if everything goes smoothly, or an error message if something goes wrong. Important stuff.
And what about shutting the whole thing down? Like when you're done?
Oh, right. That's where the shutdown server function comes in. Ensures a clean shutdown of the gRPC server. No resource leaks, everything tidy. Essential for preventing problems down the line.
Makes sense. So like good housekeeping.
Exactly. Now, the main route, the real heart of the system, that's where everything comes together. It handles all the incoming requests for podcast generation, manages the whole process from start to finish. Pretty powerful stuff.
So it's like this whole process, it takes the input, right? And then what? Validates it?
Yeah, exactly. Got to make sure the input's legit, whether it's a URL, text, whatever. It checks if it's like actually usable.
Okay. And then it calls the podcast generation function, the one we were talking about earlier?
Right. The main route, the heart of the system. That's where the heavy lifting happens. It orchestrates the whole process,
So, like a conductor leading the orchestra.
Perfect analogy. Then, once the audio's generated, it doesn't just dump it somewhere. It sends back a JSON response.
Oh, a JSON response? So it's structured data? Tells you what happened.
Exactly. If everything went well, you get the audio file path. Nice and clean. But if there was a problem, like say the input was wonky,
You get an error message, so you know what went wrong?
Precisely. Good design, right? Keeps everything transparent. Now about this demo, it starts and then there's this outro.
your personal generative AI pod. We're diving into the world of web scraping. But let me tell you, it's more than just grabbing SQL, right? So many scrapers out there just scratch the surface, get the main page, but
Thanks for watching. Subscribe, share.
Yeah, it's source code in the description, so that's good, right?